Weigh out 1 gram per 10 milliliter of the embedding medium, that is the tragacan gum, and place it in a falcon tube. Add water accordingly and vortex to mix well. The next step is to select the disposal cryo mold of your choice according to the size of the tissue. Use a disposable wooden spatula to scoop out the tragacan gum from the falcon tube and gently fill the cryo mold with the tragacan gum. The function of the embedding medium is to conduct heat away from the specimen during freezing, thus helps to protect the tissue from drying during storage and support the tissue during sectioning. Tips and tricks. The surface of the embedding medium should form the shape of a mountain tip. The middle portion of the mold should have the highest elevation of the tragacan gum, and towards the sides, the elevation should be lower. This process will expose the embedded tissue to a larger free surface area during cryosectioning that will enable us to get more of the tissue. Use fine forceps to hold the tissue and place it vertically in the middle of the cryo mold containing the embedded medium. Use the forceps to seal any gaps created due to embedding of the tissue. Pour in some amount of liquid nitrogen in a styrofoam container and allow it to settle. Gently immerse a container of your choice, preferably materials made of stainless steel, till the liquid nitrogen reaches the bottom half of it. Now, slowly pour in generous amounts of 2-methylbutane into the stainless steel container and wait until some white droplets or solid white formations are seen in the 2-methylbutane lining the inside of the container. Use long forceps and gently dip the mold containing the embedding medium and the tissue into the 2-methylbutane liquid. The cryofreezing of the block may not exceed more than 30 seconds. Longer time may cause a crack in the tragacan gum. To identify if the tissues are cryofrozen perfectly, look out for the white color of the tragacan gum and the stiffness of the embedded muscle tissue. For the time being, these cryofrozen tissues can be placed in a dry ice or in the freezer until all the remaining tissues have been cryofrozen using this method. For storage purpose, aluminum foil sheets can be used to wrap the block without putting pressure on the tissue itself. Too much moist or a dry condition may not be preferred to store the tissue in a good condition. This method of placing the tissues in an aluminum foil wrap and placing those in the cryo box is a great environment for the long shelf life of the tissues. Now, the box can be safely placed in the deep freezer for long-term storage. Next, we will use a cryostat to section the tissues. It is very important to determine the section thickness prior to start of the cryosectioning. Using the section thickness settings, adjust it to 3 micrometer and 30 micrometer trim thickness to obtain slightly thinner sections. A cold environment in this cryostat chamber would keep the mold firm and easy for sectioning. Therefore, the temperature can be adjusted between -20 to -23 degrees. The travel button here allows the block position inside the chamber to be advanced or retracted so that the block can be positioned near the blade during sectioning. Now, let us retrieve the cryofrozen tissues kept in the deep freezer and allow it to acclimatize at the working temperature. Carefully unwrap the block from the aluminum foil. Next, take a block specimen holder that would fit the block for holding. Now, gently remove the cryomold from the Tragacan gum block. Add some amount of OCT to the specimen holder and place the block into it. Next, add some amount of OCT directly into the exposed muscle tissue and keep it inside the cryostat chamber for a few minutes. The cold temperature inside the cryostat chamber would quickly solidify the OCT, which would be then ready for sectioning. To begin the sectioning, the first step would be to insert the blade in the blade holder. Next, mount the block containing the tissue along with the specimen holder in the specimen head. Tighten the knot to secure the specimen holder. The block has been positioned such that the sectioning will be performed perpendicular to the mounting axis. Use a pencil to mark the super-frosted glass slide for collecting the tissue sections. Using the travel button, position the block near the blade and start slicing until the desired sections to be collected is achieved. This glass slide can be adjusted in order to achieve a good tissue section. One can also use a blade to cut out the extra OCT in the block that are deemed unnecessary. Once you get the perfect slice, use the frosted or super frosted glass slide to collect the tissue sections. Using a brush, clean the remaining OCT stuck to the blade holder to collect the next tissue section. In this way, you can keep collecting as many number of tissue sections you would like to. The slides are ready to be used for immunostaining, or these can be stored in the deep freezer for future use. Thanks for watching the video. Do stay tuned for more such videos by subscribing to this channel.